This one auction from eBay has provided me with a lot of projects. It was listed incorrectly as Weaver or Lionel engines. They were actually made by Williams, so not many people were aware these were even for sale. These were listed as 2 powered units and 1 dummy unit for Pennsylvania. You can see there's a pickup wire disconnected from the rear roller, and also once I had it apart, the front truck just kind of came loose. The screw is still there, so maybe that's an easy fix. And now that I have it open inside, I can see this does not look like a factory reversing board between the 2 can motors. When you see a lot of electrical tape like this, you know that somebody has made a few changes. This is not how Williams would have made it, even in the 70s or 80s. It takes a little bit of fiddling to get the gears on the motor to line up with the gears in the truck, but eventually they do, and apparently it's just as simple as tightening this screw, and the front end seems to be back together. I tried this on the track with the rear pickup roller still disconnected, thinking that maybe there would be some signs of life, and when there wasn't, I decided to reconnect the wire to the pickup roller. I put it back together, and what do you know? It's now working. So that is pretty good. I'm happy with this, but I'm not happy with this tangled mess of wires. I don't like that electrical tape, so what I'm going to do is cut them apart, resolder the wires together, and instead of using electrical tape to cover the bare connections, I will be using some heat shrink tubing. And I've also shortened the lengths of some of the wires. Some were just too long. They should have been trimmed before the new reversing board was installed. It's important to get that heat shrink tubing over the wire before you solder the wires together. Once it's on the insulated end, you can slide it over the exposed section and then use the soldering iron to shrink it down to size. And now that looks much neater than electrical tape. I have to do this same procedure with a few more sets of wires, and when it's done, I was wondering, maybe I should have ran new wiring directly from the circuit board to the can motor, just one piece of wire. But this is an acceptable compromise, I think. These wires will be soldered together, they're not going to come apart, and that heat shrink tubing insulation will ensure that you won't have any short circuits inside the cab. The electrical tape was already kind of coming off, and that could cause problems. This is a more permanent solution. I forgot to show it earlier, but it's always important when you're soldering things together to use a little bit of this flux, and make sure you don't use your fingers. Apparently that's a warning on the little can. It says it's an irritant. But, do as I say, not as I do. This not only looks much nicer, it's also less likely to fail in the future. Electrical tape is fine for some applications, but for something like this, it's worth using the heat shrink tubing. And now just to further neaten up the package inside the cab, I have these tiny little zip ties left over from some kind of project, and they work well here in just separating 2 little bundles of wires. It's not strictly necessary, but it looks good. I'll trim the excess off of these zip ties, and then I think I'm done. This now looks really good to me. I might even call it beautiful, but even better than how it looks is how it runs. I have a lot of Williams shells, F-7 shells that I've repainted over the years, and I kind of share a base among those painted shells. So this is a nice addition to the fleet, and I still have a powered unit and a dummy unit from the eBay auction to repair. When they're finished, 2 more of my repainted shells will have permanent bottoms, and who doesn't like a permanent bottom? If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and until next time, this has been Bob's Workshop. Take care.